incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. Hey, you don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me, you don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior.
Welcome to the 2025 Spring NECC National Championship, brought to you by Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. No mess, no distractions, just bold protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, crush the competition. Wenzel's Farm, fuel for gamers, flavor for champions, and Monkey Man, we will crown a couple of champions here tonight.
On the eve of Championship LAN weekend, the inaugural citation individually of the NECC making their way, paving into the collegiate landscape. We stay on the internet. We're on a remote broadcast doing some good old Div 4 and Div 6 Rocket League action. The Nationals will be live and loud tonight with some good Rocket League, and tomorrow begins the awesomeness of LAN. But for today, Bear, we're going to be going to this first head-to-head. We've got Div 6, and this is one of those rare treats. We don't get to see these guys very often, and it's in championship form.
Let's go. Let's check out the rosters right now that they bring in today. Center College facing off with Tarleton State Whites. Center College, I got to see a sneak peek of them over the Post University channel, and they are certainly a dynamic team, bringing in All-Star 531, Duroxy, and Sushir today, and they'll be up against that tough Tarleton State.
It's going to be Streak, Sean, and Boss. I don't know if I need to say the 25x, but you know what? Maybe they'll be scoring or shooting or doing something 25 times. The coolest thing about this one, guys, my mom, her alma mater, she's an alum of Tarleton State. So seeing the good old TS White come through, that's pretty huge. So shout out, Mom. And it's just before Mother's Day. So even cooler. But can the Texans live up to her expectations? We were talking in the green room about it. Center College has been looking nasty.
They have been incredibly good, but they'll be going up against your mom pictured there with the... No, I'm just kidding. But Center College has been absolutely spectacular. Yes, and let me tell you, Monkey Man, as we bring ourselves back to reality here, sorry about that. Center College is all about boost control. When I saw them against Post University, this team has been absolutely dynamic in speed-wise because they will take your boost and they will laugh in your face as they're on their way back rotating around. And not only do they just steal your boost, but they're very efficient when it comes to the offensive end. They'll find the passes necessary to not only utilize that speed, but be able to kind of get you chasing when you're out of boost in order to score the most. So the key for Tarleton State is to win those fights for boost. If you're able to do that, then you at least give yourself a chance, and you're not going to be swept like you are constantly. Monkey Man, that is quite the record they got going on.
Let's talk about it because, I mean, the scouting report is real. This is a team that seems nigh unstoppable since April 3rd. April 3rd, the last time that this team had dropped a game April 3rd began the streak. Before that, a week before, in the depths of March, is when they went to a Game 5. Since then, 18-0 through their last 5 matches, swept from semis onward through the East, and has been doing all of that as much as well through Division 6 Nationals. This is a team that feels like they are destined to have to be stopped, but can anyone do the stopping? Tarleton State must be able to meet them. The Colonels feel like they're looking to become generals out there, maybe full bird and putting on some stars. Either way, it is a best of 7 that will be going into this one, Bear. And I know that you recently got to see that. That's why you have that fantastic understanding of how this team has to play and what Tarleton State needs to do. Do you believe that Tarleton State has the arsenal to be able to really counterplay into these Colonels?
I think the only difference that we've seen between these two rosters, because Tarleton State's coming in this playoffs, in the national championship playoffs, only dropping 1 game from my understanding. So correct me if I'm wrong there. So they've had a similar record. The only difference is they've started their regular season, you know, when we talk about starting off this spring 2025, very well versus what Center College was able to do. Now, the hot hand is always the one that has the advantage, the upper hand coming through, but I don't think there's been a team so far that's going to be able to challenge Center in the last month and a half, like you've been mentioning, like Tarleton State. I think this goes very close. For sure, they're not getting swept, and I think it'll be a close battle, but Center College, man, they look tough, and I certainly have them favored on my markings as far as being the one to take the championship here in Division 6.
You know what? And actually, you had mentioned that the only difference between these two, since the same marking in the same time frame from that previous spring playoffs, two games dropped by Tarleton State. So their record, their resume in particular, is ready to go. This is a huge collision course between both of these teams, and in Division 6 Nationals form. You're only going to get 2 matches tonight, guys. So it's going to be this one, and then we've got a Division 4 Supreme that's going to be coming up and live and loud at you. And we do implore all of you that you definitely tune in to the NECC, because this weekend is the national championship on land in San Antonio, Texas. We have so much of the production group. I believe that at minimum Adam is heading down from Canada. So if they're going south of the border to be able to join us nearly to the even further southern border, you got to tune in, because it's going to be hot. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be very, very cool. So we're going to be going to this first matchup. I believe in your words. There's definitely the means and mode for it to not be a sweep. However, Center College has been playing absolutely out of their minds. If this goes 4-0, I'm not at all surprised, but I feel like it could be one of those that stacks up into some very close, like 3-2s, 4-3s. Like, I want to see the scoring really come out for Center College. I think the Colonels are able to kind of put up the shut up, but the Texans out of Tarleton State, they're going to have to do the exact same thing here. So we'll be getting started here with game number 1, and I mean, the first couple of games really is going to have to be the measurement of true success for both these teams.
Yeah, 100%. And eyeballing Sush as well, and Tarleton State's ability to be able to handle it. Because not only is this a well-balanced team, like I mentioned, and they play a style that's extremely frustrating to go up against, but then when you see the mechanics on the other end and what they're able to create with that boost, that is exactly where they get dangerous. So I would like to see bumps demos before they can even get going. When that happens, you are able to free up so much of the pitch that has those boosts. You have to be very content picking up 12 packs in the meantime if they get to their game. So it's a constant battle of how do I balance this well and be able to get after them. But Sush, definitely a difference maker here as we're about to begin game 1 here momentarily. We'll keep eyes on Sush for sure, but the rest of the team is pretty good too. So we'll get things going when the teams get going too. You know, it's a national championship. They want to be able to make sure they're warm before they get out on the pitch.
That's very true, and I think that maybe they'll just they're just getting some extra snacks. It's about what? It's 8 p.m. East Coast. This is happening somewhere between Texas and Kentucky, so there's some dinner time that's probably being had as well right now, and I believe that we're just waiting for them to be able to get this one started. We're gonna actually take to the most minor of a break. It's gonna be like this big as we make sure the players are getting ready to go, get into the pitch. You guys, we'll be back with you for NECC action. Our first nationals here for Division 6. We'll be back in just a moment.
What do you make of this up here? It showed up in the yard a couple of times. I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in the yard. Seriously, did you just lose your meat? Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
You kidding?
We'll just hit this.
The hell with that?
Oh!
Come on, one.
Thank you. Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It was worth it.
Grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
Welcome back to the NECC National Championships as we throw you into game number 1 in action. And Center College has the 3-1 advantage. We appreciate your patience. As we understand it, the players created their own lobby, and they were ready to go, so they were eager to get on the field, and so is Center College, as in game number 1, with just 28 seconds left, we kick off with a 3-1 lead for Center.
They were playing the entire time that we were analyzing if they were going to play. And you know what? Fair takes. So game number 1 has gone by in a flurry. You'll basically think that you never even saw it. So did we. But with 20 seconds to go, nice bumps, all this pressure, and it's feeling like at least this was a nice starter kit for the Colonels out of Center College.
Yeah, once again, you see them chasing backwards. A good bump play as well from Deroxy, who actually did not have boost in that moment. So like them staying in the play there in that moment as well. And even when you have that 3-1 lead, it doesn't matter. You want to keep playing. You want to keep that momentum trucking. And you want to be able to take it by storm. Center College doing a great job of exactly that to make sure they don't surrender a game, which hasn't happened very frequently, if at all.
No, it hasn't for a long time. Since the very beginning of April, they have been perfect. And so far, it looks like they're trying to pour all that on. So you know what? First game of a best of 7. First game establishes who was ready first, Bear. I often give it barely any credence, but still a 1-0 is a great way to be able to start off, especially a national championship for your division. And Center College, looks like they were definitely ready to get those sticks all wired up.
And they got the last 3 since we tuned in. Could have been 4 if they were good on that shot, but it will go wide. But everything else seems to go right for Center College as they continue to just mount incredible work here. A 5-1 win in game number 1 will march Center College to a 1-0 lead in this series.
All right, so it looked like the majority of what we got to see was late term of this offense that was put up, 8 shots to 8 shots, but I definitely want, when we get into game number 2, to see what in the world was going on between Streak and the gang, because it looks like Streak had the majority of what was kind of pushed up, definitely an all-arounder for the 6 shots of the 8 for the Texans out of Tarleton State White, and then they got the lone goal, but you had Boss Gamer that was also trying to be able to rotate up and down this field. So we'll see how much of that is consistent. But, you know, game number 1. Who was ready to enter the lobby? Not us, but we definitely got there.
We did eventually. And Center was ready to go from the get-go. That's something that we saw in the series, just in the semifinals specifically. But certainly, that 3 goals, the hat trick from Deroxy speaks wonders. And a couple of those were a little bit later on, but that first goal to kick things off, Deroxy certainly is cooking. And that's not even their, super stud as we've seen in past games either. They're known to have any given player, any given game. So they continue that same streak. And if all 3 are involved like they have been already, it will be a tough one. Certainly for Tarleton State. Not impossible, but the way Center's been cooking and the fact that they haven't surrendered many games and they see the first one off the board is certainly very telling.
So if some of you don't know, this man right here is an Eagles advocate for posts. So I need to know, was Deroxy doing in those games what we kind of snuck in and saw at the end of this game? I know you said everyone, but is Deroxy kind of one of them? Is he him for this kind of situation?
You know, what I saw was a lot of Sushin All-Star, kind of with their back and forth game. So Deroxy showing up in the big moments is what I'm taking out of this, right? When you're in your national championship game, there's no better time to pop off, have yourself a game. And then when you play with the lead, obviously confidence is through the roof. Deroxy certainly contributed in there. So when I say a full team effort, it is authentic. But those other 2 certainly were a big factor in that win over Post University for the 4-0 series. So Center College, if they're getting a lot from Deroxy as well, it's a tough team to handle. Don't let that seed number 5 fool you at all.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be one of those where, look, we had 16 teams across this entire bracket. It was single elimination. Every single match is survival, and the fact that anyone was being basically put into whatever their seeding was from the previous iteration. Both these teams came in as champions from the East and from the West, so there's a lot of credence to the ones that were able to get here, but doesn't mean that it's going to be without, there's surprises, and I've seen some seeds upset others. We're going to game number 2 this time around. We'll be kicking things back over to Champions Field. We'll be staying here for the duration. And I want to see how this attack goes. If Streak can keep on streaking, maybe get this team ahead with the Texans.
It'll find its way back to Streak. He'll go airborne, but Duroxy was already up for it. You see the demo pressure already starting to get to this team, but Sean was able to get past it. That's a good tap play as well for Tarleton as they look to find one another, but nobody in the vicinity of Duroxy, so him and All-Star will combine for a couple of touches, and we'll get it out to midfield. As Sush will look to punch it directly back in. That's off that crossbar and challenging, and that's Tarleton White getting to that boost. Again, that's such a key point, and they're able to do it this time around and kind of relieve a little bit of that pressure.
Yeah, just burying the Texans right now. And just like what you were mentioning before, so much of that extra demo pressure and just having that presence upfield, they get one as they sweep in. Even if they don't keep possession upfield, it does feel like it just takes forever for Tarleton State to begin again. Sush is going to do the same thing, creep around, play basically as a spy against anyone that wants to pick up, and then they pick up with a double demo between themselves and Sean. That's a misplay between Duroxy and All-Star, so they'll have to retreat back. We're going to see this the first 80 seconds elapse.
And a swing around here from Sush. He'll go right up and over one defender. Sush will look to drop it back down to Duroxy. He's got plenty of space to work with. 2 left for All-Star. Shot taken off the crossbar. Duroxy back up for it, but Center College a little bit off the mark. The accuracy suffering just a tad here to begin game number 2.
Just underneath the bar. We can forgive a few pixels. They've had enough of those long looks. They definitely have been keying up onto these players. Boss Gamer wants to get underneath, gets a flip reset, forces Sush to jump, and that actually gets All-Star to come across. That's going to be Duroxy clearing the box. They will take it dangerously across their own third. However, no one has been able to touch them. Unaired for the most part. Out of the Colonels. Streak upfield, looking for a doink. Can they redirect this? All-Star will already climb the ladder, and we've gotten 2 more minutes here into this game.
Yeah, the defense is really coming alive after was a barn burner of shots at the very minimum. That's a great defense there from Duroxy. As you saw Tarleton waiting in the waters, trying to get to it. Just trying to catch him by surprise with a little tap towards the center, but that one's going to be well read by Tarleton State. And Sush not able to connect with that one. A bit of a misflip. He does recover, though. We'll get that extra touch. It's back to All-Star, but he'll just have to punch it deep to an open corner, but Sean's waiting for it for Tarleton State.
This one is very precarious. We went from having a 5-1, I believe, was the ending score of the previous game, to this now has become a methodical approach. It's had its run-down moments. The Colonels have tried to keep at least Tarleton State at bay, and you see them have kind of a one-touch offensive. They've not really done too much more than maybe have these moments. Boss Gamer, they have him on an island, and they didn't get the last touch, which absolutely jumped them out of their shoes. The Texans will take this first goal.
Yeah, great job to stay patient, number 1. Get that, what could have been a flick off, but then instead, they didn't do that. They jumped out for the bump as well. That's some things that you can't do if you don't have boost. Once again, Tarleton State able to get to it. And Tarleton State White with their first lead of the series, it would seem. As Streak's now going to come back. He wants more. He's hungry.
Wanted a little floor pinch, and they actually had a teammate just nearby to try and make the best of that situation. Streak is going to go jumping. Love the read we get out of Sush, and Sush took that mid-ground, just that little bit of height to be able to get away from it. Swing and a miss, Boss Gamer. They have to jump on the next one, but this one falls out wide as All-Star wants to hit it off the 45. Sush on the adjustment. Everyone will bite. Boss Gamer doesn't have any extra boost, so they very wisely play it low to the floor. You're seeing a lot of patience now coming out of Tarleton State. That one should drop in. That'll be a 2-goal lead here over the Colonels.
I love the simplicity of the game from Tarleton State White. There's been plenty of times where they could take to the air. They could get a little bit complex. They do have the boost in the tank to do it, but they choose not to. A lot of ground play, a lot of play of waiting for Center College to jump out in compromising positions and then be able to kind of strike on that backside. Credit Tarleton State for being able to recognize it, number 1, and then be able to execute, number 2.
Oh, that's a drop. That's going to end up punishing him. So we're seeing true punishment in these latter minutes here, Bear. This one's a nice pickup. It was kind of a 50-50. Deroxy wanted that off their nose. Unfortunately, momentum in physics is going to win that time every single time. So that'll drift on back. And Texans, that one might have put it out of reach to try and tie up the series.
Yeah, it'll definitely be tough. That's a good shot, but just a little bit high off that crossbar. As you heard it ring out, now courtesy of Rocket. That's backwards, though. Careful. Deroxy trying to break in the shot. The double touch, but he just careens off of both Streak and Sean and somehow stays out.
Look, they parked their car in the most absolutely optimal spot. That was going to be all in. You had one last man getting a touch, but all the momentum was with the dunker becoming the donkey. So, Boss Gamer trying to lay one up early, and you know what? The Colonels couldn't quite buy their way through this, and this might have potential, Bear. Latter 25 seconds of game number 2 to finally shut down the streak of Center College. It took until the national championship here for Division 6 for it to happen, and it took an extra game therein. Tarleton State White, after what was kind of a dominant feature, they are just not going to let one through. Seconds will tick off. Center will see that perfect record since April 3rd finally drop, and we're going to get ourselves a tied series.
Man, it's got to feel good for Tarleton State White here, number one, because you were able to do what nobody else has done, but also because you've now gotten into Central College's head, whether they let it or not, it's still going to manifest there regardless. That's such a big streak that you've been after since the get-go. That perfect season goes away. But at the same time, from Center's perspective, it can be difficult to dig out of. Those last couple of sequences, unfortunate. They're very close to being able to break through. So, if they get the first on the board in game number 3, I imagine a bounce back is imminent. There's a lot of offensive presence still there, regardless of the 0 goals on the board. It'll just be up to them as far as if that mentality is going to break them or not. That's certainly what I'm going to be looking for.
Stopping just one game short of getting 20-0 in a row. That's one of those that's kind of a wild statistic. Look, I'm a big stats nerd. I didn't know if you guys knew, but I love being able to see kind of the numbers just galvanize like that. But you know what? That's gone. All the previous records and all the things that come up to that point, erase it off the board. That's not what hurts. It's mostly now we get a measurement, Bear, of when a game goes much more stagnant offensively, when those demos don't open up those gaps that the Center College is looking for, what presents itself on that back line. And you saw, even if it's through a couple moments of ringing the failure gong and a tiny bit of inaccuracy off of the rim, that Tarleton State White can punish that back third when Center College gives a bit too much.
Yeah, but it's suffocating, like quite literally encloses this team, and suddenly they can't start getting everything that they were just basically felt like free for the past how many series. No longer on the table. Tarleton White's been able to get to these boosts, and look at Streak go up for this one. And was looking to follow that one too before he got bumped off of it. That one will waterfall down, but right into the hands of Deroxy, and he'll try to sidestep Sean, not to be, as he'll look to step in, but kind of left it off. Was looking for bumps, but really left plenty of room for Center College to escape.
Ooh, you got to watch out on these. This is kind of a copy-paste situation. They're just looking to get it executed to a perfect tilt. Center College often likes to rotate deep into these outside lanes, and then they kind of let up one single touch to have that setup for a shot. Sush just kind of goes low bar, though. This has been one of the few times Tarleton State does not occupy that near side post. It's because it couldn't get picked up by Sean. A lot of trust by his teammates to have that first touch.
And rightfully so, right? I mean, you feel like that challenge was imminent. It has been. Even this series, I would say, even though they dropped a game in this series, I feel like it's been prevalent. So, you do have trust to go grab that boost, but at the same time, you cannot sacrifice position for that exact reason. And now, Tarleton State White trying to bounce back for it. But Center College now going to put it right back into the zone here, as they took advantage of one mistake, but Tarleton White took it personally. Look again, it's to the middle, it's wide open, and we're back even.
Soon as we saw the first shot, I was thinking, all right, looks like it has potential for Center College to really start locking things down. But then it was that two-man push up into that same zone. They got away from that forward attacker. Then when that demo opened up, it was freebie. Wow, good sweep, good response. Both these teams, after what was basically kind of a dominant tilt, so definitely kind of a wash in both of games 1 and 2, they have arrived at game pace. Look at this shot coming in. Oh, they couldn't get it with the first. Third man can't connect either.
Sometimes you kind of overread and you want to be able to tap it down, so I've been in those shoes for sure. But look at Sean with the flick, and a good one too. Able to catch Center College by surprise, and suddenly you blink and Tarleton State's got 2 in a row to take the lead.
Gave up the interior possession side. DeRoxy thought maybe he had just a little bit of extra time to go to that near side wall, but that's exactly what changes up the game. We talk about divisional mechanics as they progress. Taking it away from the perimeter, not making it an easy repetition to deal with. But now Center College, can they find this one from the backboard? You betcha, but big save, and another one immediately to shut the next shot down.
Boss was ready for this one. They call him Boss for a reason. But DeRoxy wants more, all the way up to the ceiling, but look as they're all the way up. I love this from Division 6. Look at them go. Oh, now that quick move from Sush, but somehow read by Boss Gamer, who has been locked in on the defensive side.
Oh, look at the counter. You got one man to beat. He's going to try and trap it, looking for the fake. That was a good move as they try to stall all the kernels. Bang comes through, backboard, and maybe getting a bump. Oh, the third man vacated. Can DeRoxy be able to correct his vector? He's going to trust in Sush. It's a passing play. Good comms over to All-Star. Gonna have to lob it away, and I like that we're getting some of these progressions. You're getting Center College not panicking for the shot opportunities, but they're becoming less and less available more often. Big demo, but they still fill the gap with Sean again.
Sean will tap it to himself, it looks like. Just wanted to get past All-Star and did a great job to do just that, and with limited boost. Still out of boost, was able to direct it on target, but Sush eventually got to it. Now we'll chop it down. That's a shot taken, but a great read there from Streak again. But a ball in front for All-Star, redirected, but Boss Gamer comes up again on the defensive side.
This defense has been eating protein, but the bar finally bends. DeRoxy will cross it down, and we're sub 2 minutes, and we got 2 apiece.
They never quit. They're always on it. And you have to understand that if you even let them have that control for just a moment, they're going to find ways to break through. So now you've been on your goal line for an extended period of time, and it's looked great defensively, but you've got to be able to create offense because the best defense is a great offense. Keep them on their heels. In Tarleton State White, you sleep for just a second. Center College right back in the game.
Going to have 2 men taken out all the way to that back line, but Sean is going to be a very shored up third. I love the rotation that we've got out of Tarleton State White. However, the double taps are threatening. Center College has definitely been present upfield. And, I mean, we've been talking about how defense has been showing up, but you don't want to have that be your key stat for that long. Off the interior of the post, the next man wants to dive on in. Look, the old Ironsides is both fan and favor for both teams, depending on how those shots come down. Center College wiping their brow, but they're going to get back to work. Oh, it's Streak! Getting the lead back for the Texans.
Clean double touch. Sush is trying to escape the zone. No boost in hand. Thought they did enough, but they did not see Streak up for it. And a clean double touch here in Div 4. This will be Div 6. When that'll put Tarleton State White back on it. I got baited by production. But listen, we don't talk about it.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. They're looking like a div above. They're punching up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, especially with this. Look, okay, there is something just killer instinct right now for both sides. Tarleton State has been answering the call, especially because Center College has had them off the hook this entire time, trying to deal with every single shot forced to come up. You got Sush that's going to get this from the corner. All-Star's a bit backwards, but he will lay it off from the opposite side. Half minute to go here, Bear, and Center College needs to get upfield.
They need to be able to create chances, but they're the ones out of boost this time around. A taste of their own medicine, if you will, as Tarleton State continues to just cycle in. But here's Sush. Opportunity will go high with it. DeRoxy's all the way up. Try the bump play. They were out of position. Still can't strike, but a wide open opportunity. Read by Streak. All the way back down, and Center College now will have to go all the way the length of the pitch. Will this one stay up? No, it won't. It'll be Tarleton State that takes this one by storm. It will go up 2-1 in the series.
Tarleton State knows how to play in the trenches, and they've definitely been playing with a reception of what the Colonels have been throwing at them. 11 shots from out of center. College, the same amount by Tarleton, a little bit less heavy-handed in trying to get much of it from Sush. It definitely feels like the call to arms right now of the Colonels is Sush is going to be looking to kind of get everyone in right places. DeRoxy wants to immediately support him off the wing, and All-Star is going to be that third man to come through, and sometimes we see weakness from that, but the way that this approach has been working, it's been very solid. However, Tarleton, they have come through to really put everyone on notice. Everyone getting a goal. You get that double tap right after getting two. You give two, and then you get one back. Really just kind of played their way, especially defensively, to keep Center College guessing what they got to do next.
Yeah, exactly right. And as long as you get centers split up, quite literally, they're not able to connect like we've seen it in times past. They just haven't been able to look the same. Their solo plays is not something that they can rely on doing. It's not the core of who they are as a team. And, you know, it really shows whenever that is compromised. So I'd like to see them, you know, fight for that boost and be able to fight for grounds here on this pitch, because you said it best. When they were down, they needed to get downfield. They got trapped. They got hemmed in their own zone pretty frequently. And if that continues to happen, then Tarleton State can get them right where they want them. But we're cooking for what seems like it's going to go a little bit further than just 5 games as well.
We're going to see how that goes. Hey, you guys out there, you need to cheer. It's either the Colonels or the Texans, Center College or Tarleton State. Get out there, rep your team, rep your college, and rep your crew. But they're coming in like a wrecking crew. Sean, we're already opening us up here in the first 23.
And Streak, again, has been very active on the offensive side, but just able to leave it in the exact right spot. The rest couldn't get to it, and Sean does the rest. Tarleton State back out on top pretty early. Looking to establish something on it. Looks like a bit of a miscommunication, though, as Sean and Strake try to move forward. And Boss will be beat to it as well. DeRoxy just looking for a bump, but Strake stayed disciplined. I liked him staying put on that back wall when you know that a bump play might be coming.
Yeah, look, they're playing from these kind of, like, these perpendicular negative angles to have to deal with picking up some of these defensive touches, because you saw Streak, I think, play from the outside as DeRoxy wanted to get that air dribble bump. Looking to sweep that one right in. Love the commit that we got out of All-Star, and so the next approach will be out of DeRoxy, seeing if anything of a mistake manifests. And I think that's one thing that Center College found a lot more in game number 1 than maybe is just not happening since then. Got a couple. This one swings wide again, but Sush will be looking for boost and looking for a teammate to put this back through.
Sush will be upfield. Going to leave it for DeRoxy as they're in rotation to be third man back. That's a great job to get back to that ball. Get the foot reset. It'll pin ball a little bit. Tarleton in trouble now. And Center College able to take advantage of the miscue there from Tarleton State. It'll be even at 1.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Boss Gamer ended up on top of it, and All-Star is just built to shine, and apparently to twist that ball forward and give his teammates a good look of bulldozing that one just off the near side post. Great job by Center College not letting the opportunity go squandered. And DeRoxy, you kind of called out that we need to see some kind of multiply effort from off of these individual plays. They've been going for a lot more of those, and it leaves the ball a bit loose.
And Sean able to take advantage of it once more. Tarleton State back on top. And Boss Gamer, I mean, credit him all the way up to the top. The last time we've seen a player do that, a flip reset was in store, so it kept Center College guessing. Familiar terms. We just said that just before this game started off. Tarleton State continues to play this shell game. They just don't know which member of Tarleton State is going to touch you next, and it's throwing for loops.
Yeah, and there's a lot of trust from the Texans to be able to just kind of gather themselves and not have to rush some of these touches. They're definitely getting demoed a lot more here in the last 30 seconds, so I wonder if that's going to hard reset some of these encounters. Now, touching or bumping against your teammate, right when you go for a possession, that's not going to be the best way. They do get bumped out. All-Star from the near side wall, and this will be one of those first times that All-Star will have touch number 1 of the 3-man cycle, but look how they're on top of each other. DeRoxy, can he be the outlet man? Can't quite get his car around.
Yeah, Sushi just a little bit off the mark, wanted to kind of rush it, and I feel like that's, in that situation, very, very big habit to happen. DeRoxy tries to play it right back down on Boss Gamer. Sushi already up for this one. That's a quick decision. Try to go far side. Sean couldn't get all of it, and you saw All-Star Start to sneak up a little bit and try to make it difficult. That's a great passing play as well, but All-Star got a little bit distracted from the defender that was coming across.
I cannot remember the last time that Center College came to the offensive half and didn't leave with a demo. It has been almost every single cycle that they've come through. Boss Gamer's going to try and make a very cheeky passing play. Streak actually stepped all the way to the outside, looking like Dwayne Wade with the step back. But Sean will have to bring this one through and give his teammates a chance to get some boost. Streak will come right back up from the third man plating, and they still maintain that 1-goal lead. We had 3 goals in about the first minute and a half or so. Nice redirect, greater save by Deroxy just as he hits the turf.
Yeah, that is hard. Love that dive back down, but they're still not out of harm's way here as Streak wants to dive in and make a difference as well. Sean gonna be beat to it. Here's Roxy the other way. Now a challenge on Boss Gamer. 1v1 situation, but Sushi beat for it as well. Both defenses in transition. Boss Gamer, but no, Streak couldn't quite settle himself in time to get it on target.
That's unfortunate. It was a very good passing play. Pretty much had the gap, but they just kind of overran the power and the width. They went way outside left on the ball. See if anything will be dropped here by Sush. So the good news for Tarleton State is that they still have the lead. Bad news is, well, I can't think of it just yet. The post has got bad news for him. They continue to not let him through to extend this lead.
You know what? I wish the post had him last week too, but Center College, you cannot look out. You cannot breathe because even if you take a second off Center College, you know they're going to be cooking. And that's one thing that Tarleton State has in mind. And they've been basically perfect in this series outside of that game number 2. They'll look to try to continue this here in the 40 seconds, but it feels like they're just holding on here. Center College has had some great chances, but they'll tap it back to the corner. All-Star, but that one's going to be well read by Streak. Deroxy a big clear.
Battle of Division East versus Division West. This 6 matchup between these two Titans that have been running through brackets. 2 losses for the Texans, and basically none since the semifinals of the spring for Center College. They have now been rudely awakened. Can something develop? 10 seconds left. Trying to get something. All-Star's not going to be given a freebie. Sush can't get that touch, but Deroxy with one last chance. They will collide with their teammate. This one will drop to the ground, and Tarleton State White, the Texans, will be on national championship point.
Man, oh man, what in Tarl Nation is happening right now to Center College? Center College has been so lights out, and Tarleton State's had an answer for every single moment. They have been extremely sound positionally. Their ability to be able to just hound the net and take shots has been excellent. We saw 5 out of Sean alone with 2 goals on target as well. And their defensive game, it's the holy trinity, if you will, of Rocket League right now when they make that many saves and able to translate on the offensive side too. In transition, they were great. They were great even if the plays started to get settled a little bit. Center College didn't look like they could match that kind of calm energy as they panicked a little bit there, but they kept it close. And that's what gives me hope here with Center College. When they were able to string that many games in a row over the course of the season, you're never safe and it's never over until this series is over.
Well, if you guys out there in Center College need anything, the Rally Cat. Look, Chief is here. I know Chief is an enlisted rank, but you've got the colonels in the officer realm. They need some help. So, can the Colonels out of Center College bring us back and send it to a game number 7? Can my mom's alma mater be able to finish it? I didn't even know Tarleton State had an esports club, and here they are, possibly winning a national championship here in Division 6. I want to see what goes down. Give me some solid Rocket League. We paved the way to Game 5.
Do or die time, Center College. What you got? What are you made of? And fans of Center College, want to see you in chat as well, hyping up your team. One last opportunity here in the national championship. It's been quite the road, but it does not feel the same when your name is in second place at the end of it. Sean will try to tap it back here to get Tarleton State going. They've been really excellent when we talk about the beginning of games. And this one not looking too different, although Center College was trying to challenge me right on the spot.
They have definitely taken that cross cut a couple of times. It has been fantastically drawn up. They just got to be able to execute. And you see Sush waiting for anything to drop away after what Duroxy has been putting up from the back wall. So, again, it's not about having a lack of plays. It's just being able to get it over that goal line that has been very difficult, especially with the way this defense has been working. Fantastic micro passing, small ball out of the Texans of Tarleton State White. But we go through the first minute. We're still scoreless.
That's a big punch out by Tarleton State as well, by Boss Gamer. Sush going to try to turn it directly back out, but Center College has been a victim of just trying to clear to the zone and relieve a little bit of pressure. But when you do that, you get possession right back to Tarleton State, and we've seen what they've been able to do with that possession game. So I'd like to see a little bit more control, being able to catch that ball. But once again, they're in the defensive zone with basically no boost.
And that's a poor read right there. You see him, all right, I know that I need to be kind of upfield and supporting Sush, but Sush, it's kind of off-timely between him and Duroxy. They rotate into the same exact zone. That's actually a double commit. Sean is going to have to sit on his wheels, but look how no one is able to catch that. Because he did get a little bit of extra power, they can't take advantage of basically like a short power play when both the Texans went skyward. Massive counter kick. This one will rainbow out. We're still looking for our first blood. Oh, man, All-Star had to see that just go on by, and then a softball by Sean gets us our first goal.
Great patience by everybody for All-Star for not touching that, because if you do, own goal. But Sean, with that same patience for Tarleton State, that's what happens when you play a majority of the game in the offensive zone. Both players played it exactly right, exactly patient enough, but the problem was, it was on the goal line of Center College. The only difference in why Tarleton State's now just 2 minutes and 50 seconds away from a national title.
The fangs have been dulled down for the Center College Colonels. They've got to be able to bite back. No boost for at least 3 players on this outside lane, but then you suddenly are going to give them some charity via a demo, and everyone will have full boost. Duroxy, he's got one in front of him. Can a doink hit it? Can't quite connect off the nose. You did have a support man on the outside in the form of All-Star. Sean will be able to get to this as well. He's got a teammate that's trying to abuse them and create some traffic in that backside third. The third man is actually over-approached out of Tarleton State. They have a chance to jump on it, but the defense comes back.
Now they're trying to get that shot on. It'll challenge.
Oh.
Not only will it challenge, it'll break through. Center College again surrenders a softball. And now it's looking even better here for Tarleton State as the Texans are looking good.
That is such a difficult save to have to make if you cannot bounce that one skyward. I mean, you're running all your momentum towards your own net along with that ball. It's just going to creep over the line. Fantastic effort by All-Star. Unfortunately, that's all it could be. 2 minutes to go. Tarleton State dropped the first one, but Center College has been fumbling since then. 1:50 on the clock. The Texans need to hold or build. Center College must counter. They are being swarmed right now.
Yeah, they just cannot find a way out there. It's been this way for the past couple of games. Even that is going to be intercepted as well. No boost in the tank from Duroxy. That will be crossed. Sush was able to read that one and keep it alive and keep them close as it goes right back into the Tarleton State zone. That shot taken! Duroxy's gotten Center College back within 1.
Overcommit right here. You see this first touch up by All-Star. He should have let his near side post defender from Tarleton State be able to go and get that. That double commit open up the scoring opportunity. Duroxy was not going to let that one go by unshot. 84 seconds to go. Center College needs another.
Tarleton State's the one right off the kickoff, making it interesting. Duroxy had to rush to that one, did not get boost. Somehow still gets the demo, though, despite not having the trail. Shriek tries to punch it back in. Duroxy now with his ability to grab boost, but All-Star was retreating, so he wasn't able to take full advantage of this one. Still, it's going to be them on this ball. Duroxy wanted to direct it back on target. Here's Sean. Now the other side, maybe got a little bit of a touch on it, but definitely not the one he wanted, as this will be right back into the possession of Center College.
Going to try and bait these players out of the Colonels to come up with no boost. Look how they're dominating the boards. Duroxy will get him from the corner. They've got one extra. If they could go for that shot, it might be able to score. They get a demo. Sush gets rid of Sean. All-Star has Duroxy to go for it. He's going to try and dive, but you got to watch out for Sush. He will get picked up by Streak. 35 seconds to go. They've been on a winning streak since then. Both these teams, they won their conference finals, but you got to win in the Natty. Duroxy's going to bring it upfield. We have less than a half minute for the Colonels to show up.
And they fire, but a good save there on the back end. All-Star on it, and his goal will go through. 18 seconds left, and Center College has drawn even.
2 one way and 2 the other. Last gasp. Your breath better be filling your lungs if you're the Colonels. And you've got to hold it for 18 seconds. You either push for overtime or regulation time is where you take it. Swing and a miss for Boss Gamer. Trying to clutch up. 10 seconds to go. They're going for demos.
No!
Oh, the whiff by Sean. Selling at the worst moment. Going upfield. So's trying for the dunk. Sidewall antics. Tarleton State not like that. One extra and this will fall to the floor. Bonus time for both teams.
Oh, the focus up. The unfortunate touch there from Sean, but you got to put it out of your memory and try to end it now. If Center College gets some momentum, it might be tough to stop them. There's Jiroxy with a shot, but Boss Gamer able to make that save. Here's All-Star will fire, but that one also red. Now it's Sush tries to play it back in. He'll go high, has some support. This will waterfall down. Sush, all will be handled by Tarleton State defense. Still there, but a good save from Sean.
All hands on deck for the Texans. It's coming! A big save. Another one. The bars. The fourth man. The net. Everyone riding for Tarleton State white. But the Center College Colonels still bear down upon them. A fake by Sush. Waiting for anyone to bat an eye. They're looking for the whites of the eyes of Tarleton State before they take their next plunge.
You can cut the tension with a spoon at this point. I mean, it is tight right now. But Drake tries to just break it back out. Now it's a bit of a mishandle and no boost once more from Center College. +1 off the map. Here's an opportunity with numbers. A pass across, but Center College once again does a great job defensively, and Drake is forced to just clear the zone into an open corner.
Hey, you know what? That corner is a great spot for it to reset basically the entire field. Everyone gets a chance to go and get some boosts, be able to go out into open grass. It's a tiny bit of an overcommit here into this lane. That's going to give some boost over to All-Star, but Streak is in control. He's going to force Zeus to come up, get a nice demo. Boss Gamer, is that a setup to Sean? Sean will have some open airways to do something. Zeus finds an awkward moment. That'll be a face check. And this is actually a moment to try and shut down. Deroxy uses every bit of boost to get rid of the shooter.
And Sush now on it as well. Boss Gamer turns it. It was aimed towards Sean, but Sean was out looking for boost. If he turned on it, might have been a prime opportunity to end this game, end this series, in the championship. But instead, Drake being challenged by Sush. This one will be back in the box, and a great touch away because Jiroxy was waiting there for that one to come back down.
All-Star knew that one came off the corner. They didn't want to overcommit, but it also gave the tiniest little glimpse of light for the Tarleton State defense to start coming out of their back third. This is a great challenge, a double commit, and very precarious. That pinch could be nasty. This one might be it from the front face of the crossbar. That is the second time in recent history that the Texans have crossed that threshold, but haven't gotten over the goal line.
Jiroxy leaves it. That's Sean back on it. It looked like it was innocent until it was about a couple of feet away from being able to end this one as well. And Drake back up for it too. He's got Sean on the far side if he wants him. He took his time up in the air. But once more, they're back in retreat. And Jiroxy's got just enough space to be able to punch it out with or without boost.
3 minutes. Bonus time, Sush looking for the corner. You've got an option. Boss Gamer over to Streak. He's going to retreat. Sean's immediately going to turn. He has nothing in the tank. It's a 2v1. Streak's going to try and climb the ladder. Do they retreat enough? Bang by All-Star! They put a star on the Walk of Fame for him, and it's 3-2. We're going game 6.
That touch from Jiroxy was nasty as he was able to direct it back down. Sean was beat just a little bit earlier in that sequence, and All-Star stuck with the play, and Center College will stick with this series as well as they've won their second and are now inching back. It took 13 shots and an effort in about 4 minutes in overtime, but they get the job done, and we play on.
24 shots shared between these teams. Look at the defense out of Tarleton. They answered to 9 of those. Wow. Goodness, everything ringing around the bars, and honestly, Bear, this one feels like Center College was definitely on their heels. That last one, if this all comes to ruin and rot against Tarleton State, Sean has a task right now, and it's mental. He's got to make sure that that does not rock him, because that was a national championship winning opportunity that went by. But you got to take a moment of peace. Let it all go. But for the Center College Colonels, they're going to be harping on that. They're going to be chippy, and they're going to try and make sure they remind them about it.
Yeah, I can tell by your tone. It's like it's easier said than done, baby. Like,
yeah.
Holy cow, Center's after it with the 18 seconds left to go. You get a goal to tie it, to bring it to overtime, then be able to end it after so much pressure's kind of weighted on the shoulders. That was multiple opportunities, and unfortunately, it didn't look like an ultimate breakdown by any means from Tarleton State, but it's still a situation where you had it in the bag, but as Chief can probably attest, cats don't stay in the bag too long if you let them out. So if you leave it open, they're going to be able to find ways through, and Center College is a prime example of that here in the National Championship.
There's not many opportunities to be able to really capitalize either. I mean, just like cats, they look for a tiny gap and then they jump. So what can these cool cats out here in our Div 6 Natty be able to provide for us? Tarleton State, they've still got 2 more chances to get this one. Center College is going to try and force a game number 7. That one will go off the backboard. This one's more of a lob shot for a next opportunity, but Boss Gamer will clear the board.
And now he's got possession. That's going to be challenged really quickly by Sush. Streak will just bounce it off the corner. Intended for Sean, but maybe didn't see his boost tank before he made that blind decision. Still going to pay off for him, though. Streak will be right back in it. Roxy able to challenge this one, too, but this one going to be bounced around by Tarleton State as they look to press forward. Still left for Taroxy, and a little bit of space. Even without boost, we'll get it past 1, but that'll be about as far as they'll get, as Sean should be able to get this one as well.
I like that we're still seeing risks being taken, and there's the tiniest kind of gaps that are being presented, playing a cute ball between one another for the Texans. They're right up in each other's exhaust pipe for the most part. Sush slapping Sean straight out of the stands. That's a shot. Will go down as Streak recovers just in the nick of time, playing hero. But the first minute and 20 right now, Tarleton State hasn't really allowed a surplus of moments for Center College to come up. That's going to go sealing it out. Unfortunately, All-Star cannot catch up to get on top of that ball.
Yeah, even if they had 100 boosts, I don't think they were getting to that one. It's just a little bit off the mark, but the double's there. Ooh. And Sean able to read that one all the way and somehow track it. That is more difficult than it looked on the screen ahead of you. Deroxy now, great read, great speed. Beats 1, now has numbers. They have 1 across, but unfortunately couldn't quite settle the car. It was a little bit off the wall. It's a difficult read to make, and Tarleton State will jump on and get to midfield.
This is feeling eerily similar to our previous game, Bear. We took forever to really establish Credence. It was a 2-0 and then a catch-up, but then we've had moments where these teams have just not really found the board. Big take as you see Deroxy jump out of that third. If you're a goalie, real soccer or otherwise, you have to go out and get that ball, especially in those moments. If you just sit around, it's basically gambler's choice at that point. Boss Gamer got the dunk and the dink. Deroxy will use up everything, and I've seen kind of a pattern here. Deroxy ends up upfield, not being able to have a lot of boosts. He's sweeping so often, and there's not a lot of boosts to really share right now along the Colonels.
No. Both of these teams are boost hungry. It was in our talking points at the beginning of the series, and you can tell both teams are after it. And then they use it so quickly as well. They get to these balls and challenges extremely fast. Deroxy right back up on it. Now we'll turn his car around for the flip reset. Directed on target. That one's going to be read by Boss Gamer. I'm seeing the mechanics come out here in this Div 6, and now that was almost a dunk as well. Follow-up shot, but Sean's going to be wide with it.
Yeah, putting a lot of power, but couldn't get the control to be able to be center mass. No boost between those two Colonels. They'll be running upfield trying to get this corner. Streak is going to be underneath, and again, losing the overall kind of resource battle to have something when you go upfield. Very few opportunities. I wonder what the stat line kind of sits right now. 100 seconds. Sean will bang this one away. So everyone is kind of coming down into this moment, Bear. Tarleton State White, they still have that game up on Center College. Center College could run with a full sail of momentum, but someone's got to score to break this ice.
Sean going to be the one to try that at least. The bump off, but good support there from Deroxy to not wait. You cannot hesitate in that moment, and there was 0 of it. Also, punch that off the wall. Double commit there is in a dangerous spot there from Tarleton State. Luckily, one of them was able to connect and keep them out of harm's way.
They got that connection. I was just surprised. I thought Sush might have been in that rotational spot. He usually has been kind of waiting to be the retriever, the receiver. But right now, everyone's just kind of playing reflex. That's an overplay. You do have a nice demo. All-Star will go down. Temporary, and he fills his corners. Deroxy, again, no boost, and he's going to have it stolen by opponent. It goes right through. Sean might just have picked up where he left off in that previous game. That's 1-0, 45 to go.
One of the most least threatening looking shots. Deroxy just happened to creep up a little bit too far and didn't have the boost in the tank to get back up to it. And if that's the series ender, wow, definitely did not see that one coming at all. Did not look like it was going to be difficult to manage, but Tarleton State will certainly take it.
Anything that they can. They got to put this series away, because if anything's found by Center College, you know it's going to be crazy. 30 seconds left. They scored with 18 previously to go in game number 5. Game 6. You got to find something between the bars. 20 seconds approaching here, Bear. There's not many moments left for them to try.
Good turn, though. That's a floater. They need to get up to it. It's a hot read off the crossbar. What a save from Sean. Now a follow-up, though. Another huge save. Streak able to keep it out.
Right back upfield with seconds remaining. They will lob it downfield. They're going to have one last look, but this one's hitting the dirt. Every single chance they got was met by a Texan, and every single one of them shut down. Tarleton State White will be your Div 6 NECC Rocket League national champions.
Congratulations to the Texans for a hard-fought series. Center College had a little bit of fight in them. That was a defensive struggle, but it didn't matter if it was defensive struggle, barn burner, if multiple shots were taken, if it was just a tightly knit game. It didn't matter the situations. They may have given one away in the last game when they could have closed it out, and instead of hanging their heads and letting this one get to 7, they were able to close it out instead. Credit to the Texans where credit is due, because they did a fantastic job here tonight. A well-earned national championship here on the NECC, Monkey Man.
Oh, shout out. My mom is going to have herself a field day on Mother's Day. You know what, Tarleton State White? Thank you for making that an easy gift from me, from you, for her. But also, over to Center College, what a streak that honestly that they had been doing and playing from the spring playoffs to this moment. They definitely met their match when it came to Tarleton State. That defense, otherworldly at times. They found such a struggle at that brick wall, that goal line. But you know what? There was so much effort and so much great play. That comeback of Game 5 to make this go the distance here in this series. So you got to give them some love. And I know you guys in the chat did show up for them. So you know what? That's what we love to see. All the students, all the clubs, and everyone be able to support their alma maters and all the schools they go to. You know what? Better luck next year. I'm hoping that they really do continue to show up. Center College looking fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Well, Tarleton State White, your champions of Division 6 in the National Championship of NECC. We're not done. We've got to settle Division 4 here tonight as well and see their title game. So don't miss Southern Nazarene University and Shenandoah University battle it out after this quick break.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in here a couple of days ago. I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat? Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
You kidding?
We'll just hit this.
The hell with that?
Oh, yeah, there's something in there.
Want one?
Take it. Oh, man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It was worth it.
Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
It's got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to.
Welcome back to the National Championship of the NECC Rocket League style. Again, Monkey Man and Bearlight joining you here. Monkey, we have decided Division 6, and it was Tarleton State with a big win here tonight.
That was massive. You know what? Thank you guys so much. That gave me such an easy gift to give my mom for Mother's Day. In case you guys did not remember, this is Mother's Day weekend, so make sure to get your mom like some flowers or just a hug or something. So,
get her some G Fuel. Use the code NECC20. Tell them about it.
Right there, yeah. NECC 20, also Wenzel's Farm for snack sticks. And if you don't have a mom, give it to your dad. If you don't have a dad and a mom, give it to like a friend. I don't care. Like anyone that was significant to you and throughout your life. Do all those things. But we do have 2 teams. Bang, bang. Division 6. Let's go Division 4. You've seen one of these teams in our broadcast before. In fact, one of them is 25 minutes down the road. I'm going to let you guess which one. But it's Southern Nazarene University versus Shenandoah University. I already love the mascots between these two. It is going to be the Storm and the Swarm.
Ooh, you love to see it. I'm going to guess the latter as far as which one you're close to there. The Shenandoah University, who we know very well, was able to run a couple of tournaments there at Shenandoah as part of the Stay Plugged In team. So big shout out to the Shenandoah team because they are doing great things over there. I'm sure they've got their broadcast going on their side of things. A very established program with Mango, Kiyazi, and Pagani will be the 3 that get the call here in National Championship, so very excited to see them in action, but Southern Nazarene University has been very good as well.
They've been fantastic. They won the Western playoffs over New Mexico State University, their Pistol squad. After the Pistols, by the way, defeated the Petes, I thought that was very fitting and went to a game number 6. It was really cool. But they came out number 1 from the West, so this is a West versus East contest. Shenandoah has been tearing it up. They only dropped 1 game through their Eastern Spring playoffs, and I think the most recent was actually their toughest as they went against SVSU Red, and that was one of those squads that everyone had to kind of be basically aware of when it came to Division 4. They ultimately usurped them, so the Nazarene came through Indiana Wesleyan, who has one of the coolest, I think it's a Falcon, Freddy the Falcon mascots in like the entirety of the Falconry universe. So, you know, all you other Falconeers, you just don't compare to Freddy the Falcon out of Indiana Wesleyan. I'm just going to let you know. But we do compare when we go to game number 1 here of Division 4 Finals. We got to reset this lobby. That is a clock counting upwards.
That is a clock counting upwards. Unless there's a correction to be made, so...
Okay, so we're just gonna keep going. All right, we're good. Cool. That's an interesting. Okay, cool. So we're gonna figure all of this out. You know what? If Bear, if you have to play to infinity, how far would you want to play?
Man, is that a trick question? I don't. That's a very difficult one to answer here. How far is infinity? And beyond, I guess. You know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Southern Nazarene able to get the first goal on the board as we look to figure things out. Maybe we just do some math backwards and play soccer style. Oh, there we go. I think we have figured it out here as you see the 2 teams kind of clash at midfield. So listen, this gives us the perfect time to tell you about Wenzel's Farm snack sticks, by the way. No mess, no distractions like you see on your screen right now, just bold protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, as we wish we could, and crush the competition. Winslow Farm, Fuel for Gamers, Flavor for Champions Championship. We're going to get you back into it. Rocket League's been a little bit buggy, I'll be honest, so I'm not sure what's going on with the lobby specifically, but we'll get you the updates as things go along, Monkey Man. Southern Nazarene University, they were both putting their heart in. They got the first goal technically, so we'll see if Shenandoah can kind of match that energy.
Yeah, we'll see if anything that comes up. Also, it is not at all foreign with this week being weird with esports. Halo literally loads up and nothing's there. So the fact that these goals exist for Rocket League is actually kind of a miracle. So not that those are at all related, but esports be doing esports things. So we'll see how all the updates go. But either way, we're gonna reset that lobby. We're gonna see if it stays 1-0. See what the teams kind of go for it. This is a Shenandoah squad that's been kind of semi-dominant whenever we got to see them in division play and conference play, and then into this natty. They definitely have met some tough teams, obviously SVSU just a week ago, but going to this is a very established overall program. Been to their armory, they have a nice production crew, and I think at the same time that you and I are able to be here in the booth, they're doing their student production with that, both on the SNU esports side and on the Shenandoah esports side. So both these teams really a holistic effort for their programs.
Yeah, 100%. I've gotten to see Shenandoah firsthand, but I've heard fantastic things from Southern Nazarene in addition to it. So, both of these teams have deep rosters of not only players, but a community built. And I think that's one big thing to note. Even with a team that's on paper, maybe they couldn't get here. Not saying that applies to either of these teams, but if you have a community backing you, you certainly feel like you as a player can not only reach your full potential, but even play a little bit better, knowing that you have that support, especially when you have good coaching, right? A lot of these schools will find players that want to grow, and when you have that coaching in place, it just makes it the perfect fit in order to really establish players who can get to that next level to reach the top, and like we see here with both of these teams, reach the national championship as well.
Which is really cool because we've seen some climb of separate national contention spots. A lot of big identity for some of these groups that are coming from maybe non or irregular conferences of, you think what, Big 10, Big 12, big stuff like that. NECC then comprising of, all right, what then exists for kind of all schools, and now they're getting identity for better recruitment, and that's really kind of up the game. You get better funding, the dean's like, you're doing a fantastic job, and now I've even seen some of the casters that have decided to both cast as well as be directors have kind of flown that way. You've got Zombie Xander, he's a professor that's that way, and he's been able to help out the crews. So I know, was it Newcomb? He's now director. Yeah, so all that really comes to a head. So we fluff these guys because they've been doing great jobs. Southern Nazarene feels like this is also a team that's been kind of on the come up. They went through Indiana Wesleyan as well as went through UAH White, who has been kind of a perennial force here in that D3 through 5 realm. And that means they're going to become even better as all of these seasons go on.
That's right. They continue to grow. And then back to Shenandoah, where you've got Time to Light, who's a great caster, great producer, We've got Tiny Shiny. She's been doing huge things in Overwatch. Holy cow. Calling all heroes, literally, because she's one of mine. Doing a fantastic job in the casting booth and also competes for that Overwatch team in addition. So you get the skill level and that knowledge that you see in the booth back onto the lobby as well. So I can't shout out them enough. I know we've missed a couple of names there too because they bring everybody there that matters. And in fact, Kiazi, Mango, Pagani, you can say the same thing. We saw them a little bit ago, probably, I say a little bit ago, it was 8-9 weeks ago, but they were still able to put something special together. I believe they won that series, and there's no coincidence you don't get to a national championship unless you put in that hard work like we've seen.
I believe that was actually the one where they beat the Eagles, ERAU. Yes, I did remember that one. So they came out and they took care of business. I thought honestly that one was going to go a bit deeper, but this is a team that when they're good, they're here to kind of slap some sticks onto some people, and I say that because hockey has been around and cooking so well. By the way, love that your Canes are bringing the fight. So that was great.
That,
so yeah. Also, my Stars had deal with Winnipeg. So, yeah, there's a lot of hockey, and if there's anything that relates to hockey really well in esport form, it's definitely Rocket League. I've been talking to a couple of my previous buddies in Quanzek, and he's like, you know what? They play off the boards. The only thing you can't do is play around the net, but you can play above the net. So, regardless, we're kind of spitballing right now because we don't know what is going on. Actually, know what? We do. All right, you see the letters. Cool. All right, we played just long enough. Woo! Game 1. We reset.
5 minutes ticking downwards, as we like to see. As Bubba will take the first shot of the game. That one going to be easily handled. And Shenandoah, the back pass to set up Kiazi, who got up for it, but a big bump there from the Southern Nazarene to kick it off. And Orlando will just try to leave it on a platter here for the rest of the team, but Mango is trying to strike in. Good patience here from Pagani to play that third man and punch it right back in for Shenandoah.
An initial shot that we saw just a little bit ago. One goal that elapsed in that first game. Erase that from your forward lobe. That one never happened. Southern Nazarene, you're going to have to be looking for more moments. They do it off a flip reset, trying to get to Lando Bando, but it looks like they've not really been able to find better looks. This should be a no-look shot. Mango will now plant their seed on the goal line. Finally, something to break here in the first minute.
Shenandoah stuck with it. Pagani was called off. You can tell the communication on point there as Mango has stepped in their place in a 1-0 lead. Took less than a minute. It felt like a long minute there, though, as both teams were battling it out, just trying to gain a little bit of positioning, gain a little bit of space here as both teams figure it out. But that's going to be a pinch play for Mango. A 2-0 lead here for Shenandoah.
That is going to happen every single time if you take possession. It's okay when you have to dribble, but when you're dribbling out and you're doing it from the wall side, you're giving up ball side to post. And that's going to be a 50-50 that just will zing in. And so it stinks. 6 seconds later, and Shenandoah, the Hornets, they saw, chaos coming from them. I like that connection. And that's actually going to be a floater. Kiazi has to just kind of go up and hope he can come down with it.
And Mango maybe wait a little bit too long as that one will be directed on target. Lando still sticks with it, tries to get the far side. Chris will be the next one to touch, but it's going to be Kiazi right back on it. And a bump play from Mango should free up enough room, but still not. Southern Nazarene still finding ways to punch it in. That'll be barred down here, and Bubba will get them on the board.
Bubba, the enforcer, definitely forces their way in. Jumping right ahead of Kiazi. Pagani was not able to get there. And in fact, Pagani got thrown back into the ball and basically 8-ball corner pocketed into some blue net. So the Nazarene will force their way onto the scoreboard.
And now looking to kind of build up that. That's a quick little flip reset. Reaction time there from Lando Banda. Mango trying to challenge in the box, but that one's read well by Bubba. Bubba will be up in the air once more, but this will reach just as far as Kiazi was able to get to it. And Mango to punch it directly back in. This will be from the sidewall. Looking to direct it here. Did not quite get that touch. Not sure if they're aiming for a flip reset or the top of the car, but either way, no dice.
Starting to remember if what was it, like 9 or so weeks back when we did in fact see Shenandoah, and I mean Mango's that guy. Like we've seen several different instances of what this team can kind of do, and I feel like everyone gets to shine at points. But Mango is definitely one of those guys you have to fear being able to kind of pop off in a big way, in a sudden way. So as he tries to kind of collect this one, centering things up, hoping that a teammate will come up, or maybe that Briss will kind of overcommit. A would-be opportunity, and Mango, yep, they're punching outwards. We're over the midway mark here of game number 1.
Mango will demo it out. Still in possession of Southern Nazarene. Pagani now will launch that off the side wall. We'll look to continue with it. Try to get the flip reset. Got the extra touch. It's enough to punch through from Kiazi. And a 3-1 lead here for the Swarm.
Pagani with just that setup, that slap down. Kiazi. Look, that 1-2 combination is not at all weak. We look a lot at Mango, and with Pagani able to just run that entire lane, he got that one touch around a would-be kind of midline neutral attacker. And, I mean, that was basically a runaway from the Crimson Storm out of Southern Nazarene. So, 2 minutes approaching, and Shenandoah seems kind of nonplussed that, they even scored in the first place, because they're finding these connections left and right.
Yeah, weathering the storm to perfection. As Mango, again, working off that wall. It's their favorite place to be. It's just to center that as well. As long as Southern Nazarene can figure that out and be able to get to the spots before the Bees, the Hornets, if you will, well, it's going to be a good time for them. But for now, when they haven't figured that out, Shenandoah has been able to run away with Game 1. But as we learned from the last series in Division 6, that won't matter much when it comes to this best-of-7 marathon that we're about to go through.
What was it, like 5-1 for Game 1 of that Div 6? Yeah, no. This is a good measurement for what Shenandoah has been able to do now. It definitely has to be strung together as some successes. Can they do that? Sure. Been able to do that? Yes. 90 seconds. The good old Crimson Storm. I believe their mascot is a Thundercat, so gonna have to meow and clap to try and get the team back together. 75 seconds right now at this point, Bear. Kind of looking for one more to kind of remind yourself how your offense can be able to execute.
Yeah, get yourself back in the zone. Get yourself back in a good feeling. Certainly what they're after here. That's a big pinch. Bristol trying to get right back on it. I believe they got the touch before they got their life ended at least. As Shenandoah has been hungry. They've been out for blood, it feels like, in these bump plays, demo plays, taking them off. And, you know, it's really getting to Southern Nazarene. They need to be playing with a little bit of a calmer head here when those moments develop. And still haven't been able to get out of their zone here in the last little bit either. Shenandoah has been very disciplined, and it shows.
Yeah, this is a team that is not giving up on single touches. They're going to make it so difficult for SNU. 30 seconds right now here for Shenandoah, and it seems just like another day at the beach, at the office. They wear ties with their Speedos, I hear, out here in West Virginia. 20 seconds remaining now as I count seconds and they count time much the same. They can count this one as game number 1 in the back pocket to start off the series. That is not a whole series of play, Bear, but it's definitely a great way to start off this one.
It's an indicator to me that they were ready to play the series from the get-go as well. I mean, they really did put on a show when it comes to playing early, getting that offense cooking, and being disciplined, like we mentioned, on the defensive side. So certainly a good one as we play out this technicality of a Rule 0, and Kiasi is trying to just play it to the ground. Finally it will. Game 1 will go to Shenandoah University.
Good looks here by the Hornets. So Shenandoah adds one little tick onto the circles that you have to get 4. You're able to light it all blue, and then you get to have yourself some cool hardware to go beyond the glass. Poppy Gang, by the way, for Southern Nazarene. I don't know what that's about, but you know what? Everyone coming out and being dads. So they need to be able to find that old man strength for Southern Naz. Can they do so? Because it looked like Mango was basically leading the squadron for the Swarm out of Shenandoah, and they were basically just completely unabated for what they got to go and do.
Yeah, they were strong enough to remember the game plan coming in to get that physicality going. A lot of times when you're in a big game, when lights are all on you, a national championship here at NECC, sometimes you forget the main mission, right? I don't think they have. They have plenty in their ears reminding them of exactly that. Luckily for SNU, it's only 1 loss on the board, so they're able to kind of take it at face value. That's what I recommend they do and head into game number 2, and they're able to stop that swarm, if you will, of Shenandoah appropriately so, and at the tail end of that one. So I'd like to see a lot more of that. As long as they can kind of even keel this gameplay early, maybe get the first one on the board, get some confidence rolling, and I like their chances in game 2, but it's all going to start with a full man effort.
First 2 games in the BO7, the ones that you can be giving away, that's totally fine, but you gotta get Mango out of this equation. Get the dang fruits off of your nutrient pyramid if you are Southern Nazarene, and that might be able to help them out. Shenandoah, though, they did kind of fall down whenever they were challenged at least a couple times. The problem for Southern Naz is that they've not been able to match up to that pace early and often. First 30 seconds, Shenandoah's gonna press.
Yazi met well by Bubba. Exactly what we want to see there. As Mango and Pagani will trade off. This one will play off the sidewall a couple of times. Kiazi already on it. Neither of them will connect. A bit of a whifty in terms of Jorby. And Bristol trying to challenge it as well. The good friend of Jorby. Wonder how he's doing. Calling the action at the top level. I'm sure some of these players aspire to be at that level as well, and certainly a national title here in the NECC even in Division 4, has got to be respectable. Put you on the map to some degree.
Hey, you know, look, we're going to be seeing even like high schools going for the national championships. Same thing happening for the collegiate level, of course. Everyone's wanting to be noticed by the Jorbster, as he and I, you know, I'm the Monkster, he's the Jorbster. That's we know each other by that.
Yeah, of course.
But ooh, this connection, right off that near side post. Okay, so that's been one of the few threatening that we've seen. Mango, we haven't seen a lot of kind of just pump fakes. Ooh. Mango stopping and parking in the third. This one was so cheeky.
I felt him just shifting it into reverse and being able to catch it and then flick it forward. Great patience, great car control, and what was otherwise a simple looking play. But the great reaction time is something to shout out for sure. Mango with a big one here for Shenandoah University and making sure that you're still making that statement piece. Keeping that momentum rolling from game number 1. Shout out.
That's one of those that gets into your mental. Just a tiny bit. Recognizing that ball was, you know, set to escape. You get one guy that makes a connection, doesn't get baited out, and that's just a regular cleared play. But for Mango, it's threatening. You put that in the stripes, he's going to chase that one down. Unfortunately, near side post rotation gets that one caught up on Lando Bando, so the threat persists. Mango, Kiazi wasn't ready for the speed, but they are going to keep it at least upfield. Some good old pragmatic possession. And Southern Nazarene starting to sniff a bit of blue grass.
Mango and Piani are going to try to spoil that grass. As Mango puts a shot right back on, they're not ready for it, and once again, it seems like you start to get things together, and Shenandoah has different ideas.
Oh, poor Bubba. He skied that one, and that seems so innocent, just like what we got to see in our Div 6 matchup. You're like, oh, that's going to go to the wall. But then comes a player from Shenandoah slamming it home right at that gap. Bubba, because it kind of came off their left side fender, they were trying to kind of rotate towards the nearest side of that post, and had no idea that the gap would be so profitable for the swarm out of Shenandoah.
They continue to just mount it on. That's a shot that might fall to you. It's crossbar before Briss is able to get to it. Now just tries to chop it back down. No connection the first time. Bubba was looking to put it on target, but unfortunately found the corner instead. As their woes continue on the offensive side of the ball, just cannot quite find a break here for the Crimson Storm.
And difficult for Southern Nazarene. You've got Kiazi, you have Pagani that's lingering. That is a dangerous way to live, and yet unpunished because they know they have plenty of time. All of Southern Nazarene was keyed into that one corner. Briss trying to win at least 150-50. I love the extra setup off the front face, and then the third man being the most lethal approach thereafter was immediately red. Lots of trust in Shenandoah off of what basically could have been at least cut in this lead and half goal. Now you have a chance by SNU. Can they be able to punch it down? Lando Bando will get caught.
Even in the toughest of situations, the Hornets have been very strong. Like to see that same heart from Southern Nazarene. They've been able to keep it close to some degree, but close is not good enough, especially at the national championship. So you know they're really trying to break through, and Shenandoah has shut the door multiple times. That's another example. Kiazi won't let you breathe, not even out of your own box.
This one. Kiazi goes up. He knows he basically has to just meet whoever's going to have first touch and get a 50-50 off that. Great just understanding, because the other defensive men, he had no forward momentum to get to that ball. So it wasn't really a two-man effort. It was just two guys going up. So 3-0, 50 seconds. So the Nazarenes still looking down the barrel of this 0-2 possibly coming up. It's not inevitable, but Shenandoah, this is them keeping focus. You can tell they're very well coached. They're just not letting any gaps manifest for SNU.
Mango right back on it again. No hesitation attitude on every ball. Does not matter. Dominating force continues. Even that 50-50 is up, and they're up in a hurry. That shot defended well by Bubba. Seems like basically just trying to stay alive, just trying to make yourself known that you deserve to be here, and that's just because of how strong Shenandoah is. No knock to Southern Nazarene. Shenandoah has played a perfect couple of games. They'll walk away with this one as well. They've been hot. The Hornets will be up 2-0 in this series and making a statement piece here in the NECC National Championship.
You know when you are just not allowing anything to happen, that you have absolutely done your homework, you have prepared. It almost feels like it is destined to just happen. And I mean, we're getting the same kind of execution, both Kiazi and Mango holding down the stack, Pagani being able to get the assists as well between himself and Mango. This is just a team so well oiled. I always forget what the name of the term is, but it's when professional players do something of their craft, or even just any professional does something of their craft. A layman thinks, oh, I can do that. That's easy. Then they attempt it, and there's just no way. This is a team that's making this game look simplified. They are winning challenges. They're just hitting it at a notch and a velocity that is not being met by SNU. And the few times they get that possession, boom, it's just slapped out of their hands. There was one time they rang the gong, and that's one of those you wish would definitely go in, give them some more confidence back.
Definitely. You got to keep the confidence high regardless of the first couple of results. But it's very difficult when you literally cannot escape any grasp at all. Shenandoah is throwing every kind of look at you right now. And a team that does play that aggressively and gets on every ball, it's difficult to manage. You have to be able to find outlet passes because of this. You know, they're cutting in zones. They're being able to make those reads as well. So the quicker that you can escape and then be able to kind of reel them in, yes, you'll be able to get around them, and then suddenly you'll have a little bit of extra space to work with. It hasn't happened yet, but you still have plenty of games because of the best of 7 scenario we have in front of us.
Well, you know what? Crimson Storm, Southern Nazarene, Chief has shown back up. That means the rally cat is here. So, it's time to rally. All y'all better wake up. Because if there's anything crimson, more crimson than you, it's my beard. So that means we got to give a little love and get you guys out there. But Shenandoah, the Hornets are stinging, and they're trying to leave that sting completely in the cars of SNU. More than 30 seconds has elapsed. Currently no score.
Right now, it's still trying to punch it. Towards it is Mango. He's already up in a hurry. Try to challenge the back wall, but this one will be held nicely by SNU. But still, Kiazi trying to punch in. A lot of punching going on, by the way. Boxing match, some would say. And try to get to it as well on the far side, but it'll be Briss to turn it. Haven't heard much from Briss at this point in time. Trying to go ceiling-wise, but it'll be Mango to match him. In the midfield, a quick turn. Bubba. Oh, had some support out in front. Lando just didn't have the boost to try to turn on and get that bump play, but I like the looks here from SNU early.
It's a good old title fight. 12 rounds, maybe? I don't know. Shenandoah is trying to turn this into a TKO very early on. Big turn. Pagani has to take up the reins of responsibility from that backboard. Mango just keeps it skyward. Kiaze, he has all the team boost right now, and he'll be able to get 2 solid touches. However, this may be as simple as that. They're going for the fake-out play, see if they can get a redirect. Can't quite get a lethal shot on target. Briss will go and get this boost. Oh, but they can't get the ball. Good tracking him. As soon as he had to slow down his car, just as he hit that wall, he was just completely demolished.
Yeah, Mango made a great save there earlier in that sequence, and I was about to say, you know, you cannot let them get back to it. It's a great save, yes, but felt like that bump needed to be coming at that point in time. Sometimes it's hard to locate the Hornets, especially when they're all around you. I would have liked to see a little bit more physicality. There you go. There's a demo right on cue, and Briss tries a 50-50, and the low 50-50 actually worked in the favor of Kiazi, because it was Pagani that was there in support. But still not able to make this touch. Makes it dangerous, but the support from Shenandoah is unmatched. If there's one person to miss, there is somebody there. If you have a touch, somebody's ready for it. I mean, they've been very clinical in this area.
Oh, and look, they're opening the gap now. Pagani and Kiazi are going to aim to connect here on the near side post. That was a tough jump, and they couldn't get level with the ball. Pagani just, after he saw that demo, the calm came through. You know, he had Kiazi in his back pocket, and poor Lando Bando, when they jumped off that wall bear, that when you make those jumps, you descend about like 10 pixels, and you just can't keep level with where you think that bounce is going to come from.
It doesn't matter how much boost you use in that moment either, right? It feels like you cannot keep yourself afloat. And they did a great job to at least position themselves in a spot where maybe he shoots it low, maybe he bodies it, but it just felt like there was no chance there. But Briss tries to direct it back on target. Yazi, another big save. And again, it doesn't even matter if they have boost in the tank. They've just been that good. And Pagani is going to challenge the back wall. Nobody there this time. The extra touch was imminent. And Mango trying to challenge. Briss is going to be backwards for this one. Mango trying to float it, but a good read there from Briss to stay in that play a couple of times with a great 50-50 to try to escape. But SNU, even when they do that and win a couple of 50-50s, they're still in harm's way. Finally a clear and maybe some numbers their way.
Quite the hot streak right now that we've also got by Shenandoah. They currently are posting up a shutout through all of game number 2 against Southern Naz, and now through at least the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds here of game number 3. Shenandoah University trying to just completely suffer against SNU. They want to just keep them supplanted with their backs to the wall, heels to the grindstone. That was a heck of a blitz ball between teammates. Crimson Storm's got to turn some of those moments, especially when they get these big clears, into shot opportunities, but it's these demos that hard reset them.
Yeah, and SNU, they've done a better job of having this midfield presence, you can see, but now you see a miscommunication. They're both at a boost. You need to be able to take this to the sidewall. Lando's able to do that. So I've liked the way they played at the midfield. Gonna have to continue this, though, as Briss will be the next one. Gets the pinch and a big one. That one's actually gonna clear all the way to the other side, thanks to Pagani. And now Lando tries to turn it right back in for Briss. But you see this back and forth, east to west. You need to see a little bit north and south here momentarily. They're doing a good job to kind of navigate, but the next step in the process is to be able to penetrate this box.
East and west, just like our finalists, our conference champions from those. But just like you mentioned, keep it simple. Run it up and down longitudinally. 10 seconds will be approaching that timer. It's going to be very tough for SNU to hear if they do not score. Lando Bando has it stolen from him by Pagani. That might have sealed the fate here of game number 3. Looking for one extra just so it can flop down. You plant the bus at the line, and the engines are revved up for Shenandoah. They're trying to send home SNU in a sweep. Only one shot per player for 5 of the 6 players out here. We have a grand total, after so much activity for the previous games, Bear, of 8 shots. That's it.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot, all things considered, especially, well, I mean, it's a 1-0 game, so it checks out, and very defensive-minded in this one. And we saw in the last series as well, Tarleton State, we talked about how they were good in defensive struggles, or if the scoring got opened up as well. Shenandoah is showing the exact same prowess. It doesn't matter the circumstances of the game. When you play your own style of play, you will be successful. So Tarleton State, a prime example of that. Shenandoah not only showing that they were certainly taking notes if they were watching or in preparation. They were certainly already using notes from matches past, because they've come out in a heater, and one that I was not anticipating to come out in a 3-0 fashion, man.
Hey, you know what? Now's the gut check. If Southern Nazarene has anything left in the tank, it's got to show up from here onward. This Division 4 National Championship, you've definitely got Shenandoah in a prime position to be able to finish off the entirety of this run and leave no question as to who is the champion here. Maybe even carry this going into next year. Who knows? Maybe this team will be primed to go into Division 3. With the way they're playing right now, they look like they're up for some even greater challenges. So the Naz, though, their challenge rests as thus. They got to score 1. And if they don't score before Shenandoah, it may be too late.
Honestly, yeah, just with all the pressure mounting, midfield presence is great, but you got to be able to utilize a lot of it, and that's a good way to do it. They get the first one on the board here. Lando able to break through after Pagani just couldn't quite get the touch, and Mango was left on an island.
Yeah, and Mango got slammed by Briss. Great job by Lando Bando. Sticking nearby, being able to find that kind of outlet of support, and Briss not at all kind of becoming unwavered, looking for that moment that you see Pagani kind of backflipping. You know, if you get some kind of bump, you might be able to open up a gap. Now you have Bubba leaving that one as a wide open moment. 2 players, one gets demoed. Gotta be careful. Shenandoah can counterattack in a hurry.
Now you see Mango just kind of wading in. SNU did not look comfortable in that situation, and Lando still trying to turn it on the Jets. Mango trying to get that touch out. SNU still trying to threaten here, but a good touch, and definitely a mindful one there from Mango as they continue to press into the zone. Pagani will stay on it too, and that bump play, but a good save there from Bubba. Follow-up attempt, and Mango's broken through to even the game.
Yeah, that little bit of finesse, that tiny bit of English right here on this first shot makes the man jump. You had Lando Bando jumping in, but it was just too late when the power then of Kiazi, same gap, separate height. Hitting those 2 extra shots by Shenandoah now draws us even after the first minute of play.
Oh, and this went off the back wall, almost changed in an instant. Would not be exactly kind to SNU. If they're able to get that lead right back, a quick answer from Shenandoah is the last thing they can afford. And Mango right up for it, gonna try to make it happen regardless. The touch is only away temporarily. Shot taken, but another save here from Lando as they're able to get to it and clear the length of the pitch. SNU maybe throwing up the red flags here because Shenandoah University is making it difficult for them.
Yeah, very much so. But that clear rocketed across this entire pitch. Trying for a redirect, soft onto the undercarriage, still connects. Bit tough as maybe they wanted to center that one up. It goes to a teammate instead. Floor pinch, not too much from it as Pagani. Basically, this becomes a one-man venture up and down this field. You're getting to see someone just kind of streak. Mango gets a boost steal. Can Bubba chase after a wall bang? Looking for that side wall. Lando Bando is going to have Pagani go stretching his arms after it. And this is Shenandoah now playing a lot of ball chase at this point. It's because Southern Nazarene is starting to rocket this from side to side. And they've found a few formulaic moments where they've found a third man starting to come up and get those shots.
Mango trying to cycle around. SNU is still in the right spot as far as what side of the field they're on. But still not able to punch through. 2:30 left. Briss, quick turn and catch. Try the flick, does get past one, but Kiazi able to get back in support. They still have numbers. A touch backwards towards Bubba, but it's read well once again. Now in transition, Mango the shot. Oh, and a pre-flip by Briss will get him back to it.
Desperate moments. Southern Nazarene finally gets that one goal. They got it as a leading goal in front of Shenandoah. It was in the early first half minute. Since then, Shenandoah has been able to get one, lead him upfield, and then a gap. Briss. Let's see how this one manifests here, Bear, because he gets over Kiazi. Is that an overrun by Pagani? He goes for the challenge, and Briss just keeps with it.
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due. You had 0 boost against a defender that was full tank, and you're able to kind of outmaneuver and make that happen. So talk about backs against the wall. We make these plays happen. And Briss hungry for more, too. The tap down crossbar. The follow-up just not there, though, as Bubba's not able to get to it. That would have been nice to have a cushion.
Very much so. Want to get some insurance behind this one goal. And Shenandoah University might see themselves dropping a game. Looking for a gap. Good follow. Mango dangerous. They do get a connection with it, which means this is going to cross over the stripes. And it's bumper ball and bumper cars. Between all these players, 6 cars go in and a bunch of mechanic bills come out. 80 seconds remaining. Lando Bando wants to at least put it off center, but that may have given Mango a look, but he will retreat.
Kiazi just trying to get it out. Here will pop it high. It's Pagani on it next. Has an opportunity to get to it, but Briss with a great couple of touches to play it out to the corner here. But Mango trying to break through the bump play as well. Kiazi will fire and score. It'll be a 2-2 game now.
SNU has been upfield. They have been finding the swarm of these hornets locked into their hive. Finally, when they come out to get you, they body you. Big bad hornet apparently been lifting while you've been away. 1:01 on the clock. Still tied. SNU, that insurance never came. A premium too high to pay. And Bear, this one could be executed here in the next 50 seconds or so. Shenandoah looking for a championship win.
Looking to have another title. Add yet another trophy to the case. They've been very good at this. SNU is trying to play spoilers. They still have that opportunity to do so, but it is dwindling the way that Shenandoah has a 3-game lead. And just 30 seconds away and 1 goal, but that's a good punch out. A shot. Mango handles it. Kiazi still has to wait, and that's the third man. They go up high, unfortunately. If that one was on target, it would have been difficult. Now they're in transition. Kiazi has the demo, but they didn't turn in time to get the shot on target. That one was dangerous, but stays out.
Timer's up. Briss is going to try and keep this back. You get the demo again. The gap is there. Game-winning shot, championship-winning shot could come through. Everyone will stay away. Mango, he won't get a 0-second feature, but we get to feature some bonus Rocket League in overtime.
Sure do. Been an entertaining one, to say the least. Pagani try to get his Mango. That's going to stand in their way. Pagani right back to it as well. Sorry, they stood together to get that one out. This one to Kiazi. Trying to flip it to a teammate. That one developed a little bit too slowly, and Lando's content just trying to get it over to the sidewall and punch it forward. Pagani's not going to be able to get this touch. This one wide open. Shot taken wide. Kiazi's being bullied. The shot, but it's off and it does go in. Baba wins it in overtime, and SNU will stay alive.
Pure effort and will. That bump by Lando onto Kiazi just couldn't allow him to get that touch. And then when he had one extra chance, Bubba full sent. He actually ended up touching it and shooting it off of Kiazi and then followed through when it hit that post. Wow. Okay. SNU does not allow the sweep. That is definitely step number 1 here, Bear. Step number 2 is going to have a lot of fight. However, this one ended up being with SNU leading, tied, and it never, for game number 4, was allowing Shenandoah to have themselves their own lead. So they got 3 more chances to put this championship away. Do you feel like SNU just was this last stakes heroic moments finally coming to manifest?
The numbers would suggest that it's a very steep hill to climb, and sure, that's the case. It was the first time in the series that I've seen Shenandoah on their heels. And, sometimes you'll see the back and forth games, and the games were pretty close, and then, it just happened to not go your way for 3 games. Then is there a reverse sweep possible? In my eyes, yes. I'm certainly not a believer at this point in time. I'll just put it that way and kind of loosely. I know it's not directly answering your question. They're capable of it, but I don't see it happening. Long story short.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we didn't see Shenandoah play their game. I feel like it's like, okay, hey, we got real close. We're next to the goal line. We don't have to get over it yet. But it's not like they took their time. SNU showed up that game. I feel like this one was definitely, all right, we must now answer the slightest wrinkle that has been kind of given into this question. But it was SNU that also started off all the extra scoring, trying to be able to connect here, and their defense has now begun to read what the Hornets are putting up.
Now back to Orlando. Just that close. Being able to get a lead in game number 5 as well. That one's going to be far post as well. Kiazi trying to direct it back down for a teammate there for Shenandoah. And Hornets will swarm around this ball, but Pagani is going to be met there by SNU. Now the pitch it goes, extra touch to try to center it. Good reaction to get up in time there from Mango, and Kiazi will try to team up on it. They're at a boost, but now Pagani the other way has got boost in the tank. And a great back check there from SNU will keep it out too. And suddenly heading towards a defensive battle, at least in the first minute.
Crimson Storm has been all over the swarm. Oh, poor Orlando. That's the second time now he's been in this back third with no boost. Think maybe some extra in the tank and been able to adjust. Fantastic follow-up, though, by Bubba. The set down by Briss. They saw this one arc over. Pagani, unfortunately, kind of pancaked it and allowed for this loose ball play to develop.
All right, starting to feel some life. Briss made the right play there and a great touch. And one that I like to see, proactive gameplay from Southern Nazarene. As Bubba right back to it off the kickoff as well. So everything seems to be going the way of SNU the past couple of games, especially late in that last game. Kiazi and Mango are going to combine. What a save from Lando. Got up in a hurry to get that one.
Lando might not be finding it on the offensive half, but defensively he has had his repetitions really starting to shine. That's one of those where you have to add a little bit of polish to the rough texture of the old surface, but now as they find how Shenandoah has been kind of cutting them off at the corners, really just forcing them to extra rotate laterally, they're definitely kind of getting into their grill to slow down these shots. Kiazi from the outside, they will rotate on top of a teammate. They don't have the same kind of midfield passing available to them. Mango will steal that boost. Kiazi is being called to immediately turn. I love the comms. Kiazi with a set to Pagani. Pagani with a drop ball. You're going to have one extra, and all 3 cannot get a touch.
Yeah, that started with Kiazi finding Pagani, and you got 2 to commit there, and Mango knows it's your time to step in. Has the confidence that Kiazi was going to rotate around in case they get a loose touch anyways, and they just continue to rotate in one after another. Shenandoah definitely methodical in that moment. They'll kick off as well. It'll be a 2-1 lead now in a matter of 3 seconds.
You know, I have the same French jersey that Mango has on their car right now, so I just want to let everyone know. It's really cool. But also, fantastic follow by Mango. Just, you have a loose ball, you send 2, especially with the next man staggered that well back. So, what was a 1-goal lead, now it becomes a swing. Shenandoah, is that enough for them to get at least this one? Because Southern Nazarene, when they've been moving upfield, it's been with lethal purpose.
Meanwhile, Southern Nazarene, they kind of waited to get up in that moment. Bubba wishes they could get up to it, but they were a little bit awkward. As far as the pass, it wasn't the exact perfect setup there. They will have boost in the tank for this next sequence versus Shenandoah, so they should be able to find a way out of the zone. Although Lando's kind of left chasing. Another pass that's just a little bit off the mark. The accuracy seems to be sliding a little bit. They're hoping they can certainly get it together here, as that time is going to be taken very quickly for the Crimson Storm. Got to find solutions, got to find them now. They found the box, but they do not find a goal, at least not in this moment. Britt's trying to go back to it. Ceiling high, bounces it, try to fool Mingo, but he did stay strong in his place. And Kiazi to follow up too. They'll have a combination with Pagani. They'll pinch it out, so it'll fall right back into the box. Pagani on it again. Shenandoah still on it. Finally, SNU will punch out, but it'll staying here at midfield.
You have 90 seconds to go. If you're SNU, you're thinking in 15-minute chunks. What do you need to accomplish? Can you get Shenandoah to bleed some boost? What happens through each and every single one of these touches? Is a teammate upfield? Are you getting that pass play? Both players just retreated for the Crimson Storm, and that was Mango very aware of that vulnerability. Look how he leapt at them, having to retreat one man to beat, and it was actually a fantastic pass as Pagani cut him off, and Mango just made sure to secure that shot.
Time for the Crimson Storm to take warning. Now is the warning sign, a red flag. Gotta be able to put something in here at this point, but it's wide open again, and a bouncer from Mango. Shenandoah University, they're opening up the gap.
Just streaking away from SNU. Crimson Storm, they had a lightning strike in the front yard of Shenandoah's armory. They came out, looked at the sky, and the clouds ran away. 70 seconds at this point, and the swarm of the Hornets from Shenandoah is really starting to pour it on. Southern Nazarene needs to hit the gas, and they need to hit it hard.
Step 1, win the 50-50 low. Briss is going to try to challenge strong arm it. That one to Lando is going to go high, though. And sorry, that was over the Bubba, but Lando trying to follow up in the third. Here's Briss. Flip reset. We'll pop it over. They'll have a chance, but it took too long to develop, and Mango was able to get it out. Pagani chasing it down to the corner. This one popped high above it, making sure no member of the Southern Nazarene team can get that touch, and Briss is forced into this corner once more. 30 seconds left. They got to score quick.
If your national championship lifeblood is on the line, you've got to be able to find moments through it. But with Shenandoah University, this was all business from the beginning to what is presumably the end. 10 seconds to go. They could have had a sweep. SNU bit back, but then they punched down even harder. The KO shot in this title fight coming in game number 5, 4-1 to Shen Yu. Congratulations on the Division 4 National Championship dub.
There you have it. Shenandoah just adding to their collection of success up there in Winchester, Virginia. They have been excellent off the hood of 8 shots and 4 goals in Mango in that game number 5. But of course, that wasn't the only thing that kept them going. The entire team was just better in the midfield. They were stronger when they got to the offensive side of the ball, and they took an SNU team who is absolutely filthy good in this Division 4, and they made easy work of them. At least it felt that way here from the commentator booth. Yeah, a little bit of punch back from Southern Nazarene. But when you're in the national championship, you have to play your 100% best. And I bet if you asked them, they probably said they didn't quite get to that level, at least not here tonight. But a big shout out for a successful season to them, being number 2 nonetheless.
Hey, you know what? You win the East. You come through. You get to the national championship. Someone has to take second place. And Southern Nazarene, they've absolutely earned their right to punch a ticket into this grand final. This is a fantastic team, and I like that we got to see them be able to punch through. But Shen Yu, I mean, everything must be like weak plaster to them, because when they punch, they go all the way through, elbow, shoulder, and all, and they give you a thumbs up on the other side because they know they were going to get the job done. Congratulations again over to Shenandoah University, as the Hornets will be your Div 4 national champions. And Bear, that's the last one that we get to have on the docket. The eve of our NECC land weekend that will be going down in San Antonio. A lot of Div 1 action that's going to be going down there, and we got to at least crown a couple of natties before they get to start.
No doubt about it. And what a season it was. We want to give a big shout out, of course, as always, to our sponsors at Wenzel's Farm. Fuel your game with Wenzel's Farm snack sticks. No mess, no distractions, just bold, protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, crush the competition. Wenzel's Farm, fuel for gamers, flavor for champions, flavor for Shenandoah, flavor for Tarleton State here tonight, as they're your champions of Div 4 and Div 6, respectively. And make sure to check out G Fuel and enter the code NECC20 to get that discount as well and support NECC. Much appreciated to everybody in this crew. And NECC season is not over yet. Nationals for Overwatch 2 going on tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Make sure you tune in for it. But until next time, Monkey Man and Bearlight signing out. Have a great night.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in here a couple of times. Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is...